Hello and welcome back. We are continuing our Japanese 1890 campaign, Rise of the Dragon, and we're on episode like 14 or 15 or something at this point. I would have to go and look, but I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, we're going to continue our war with Russia. Now, we are pretty far ahead here, so if it does come down to a non-negotiated peace, like a everybody just go their own way type peace, then we should get some nice territories over here and some war reparations and all that. We have invaded what I call Huawei. I'm sure, again, it's the wrong pronunciation, but it is what it is. And we're going to let that go for maybe a month or two, and then we're going to hit up here, Seklen, or maybe what Shanghai. It all depends on what's going on here. So let's go ahead and continue on. We have intercepted a raider, which means we're going to have to run away because we have this little Corvette. So let's put our speed on. Okay, run away. So how long until nighttime? 7 hours. That's a long time to run. But they also ran away. So we'll retreat down here towards. I think this is like Iwo Jima. One of these. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be able to hurt a heavy cruiser with a Corvette, but at least we can interrupt their raiding. So let's go ahead and denounce China, just because China is always an easy target. Hey, we sank a destroyer with a submarine. You don't see that very often. Northern Pacific, Russia lost another heavy cruiser. That's good. We are, leaning on the U.S. to keep Russia at least a little bit busy in Europe over there, so they don't send, their gigantic fleet over here to stomp us out. Tempted to hit Sakhalin. Let's go another turn. Hang on here. We have a lot of stuff under construction. We have a whole fleet of escorts getting ready to drop here in the next few months. We have our brand new destroyers ready to go, and it's still another year and a half before our battle cruisers are completed and worked up. Okay, that was a battle in support of the land combat. So them declining, maybe it gives us a better chance of outright capturing, but we'll see. And a nighttime engagement with our destroyers is hopefully going to be a good time for us. So let's zoom over. This is an American heavy cruiser, which has little torpedoes on it. What do you know? What do we got on this thing? Two 8-inch guns. Oh, this is a pretty classic design here. That's like it's like an 1898 design or an 1889 design. Oh, okay, we're getting hit already. That's fine. We just don't want to get torpedoed immediately. The Awate, I think, is one of the two heavy cruisers that saw action during the Shanghai ambush and got torpedoed and managed to limp home. So let's not test our luck twice with this thing, even though we are very close to home base. Uh-oh. All right, well, we will send that thing home. Oh, okay. Never mind. I had the wrong thing targeted anyway. The Yayoi? Poor little thing. Never really stood a chance. Let's pull our destroyers back until we can maybe get all these enemy ships distracted a little bit so they're not just shooting at the destroyers. The Augusta's putting in some good work there. Look at it, man. That thing is going to town. Huh, 10 6-inch guns. It must have either like an elite crew with a good captain or like a decent fire control on it. Yeah, the Aurora. Well, okay. Well, we traded out a destroyer for a destroyer and a light cruiser. We'll take that exchange. Our destroyers are continued operations. Yes. Our destroyers are basically just one-shot missiles. It looks like the air age has arrived. So we're going to lighter than air. Let's not fool around with it. Let's put it on low. And this is our advantage. So we're going to go high. And we might take light forces and torpedo down to medium here at some point in the future because we have an advantage in that research. So it's, I don't know, is that the equivalent of having it on high already instead of medium? Don't know. We're being held up over there. Yep, Russia's deploying battleships over here now. The old pre-dreadnoughts. But that gives us an opportunity to engage in well, they can't even challenge us. Interesting. So let's say it gives us an opportunity to engage in a battle where we can try to, sink them. Oh, wow. All right, we're starting right on top of each other. So let's go into our normal line ahead. Hold our torpedoes because we don't want them firing and hitting our own ships as they might do. Alrighty. If you've ever played Ultimate Admiral and Dreadnoughts, you know how it is to have your destroyers just popping off shots. Which is another fun little game. I played quite a bit of it until more recently when the developers started making a bunch of changes and really kind of screwed everything up in my opinion. Well, is that really? Do they just have a heavy cruiser out here? They have to have more than that, right? So we'll move our heavy cruisers to the front here. And we'll back them up. We'll back everything up with destroyers. Oh, there they are. All right, there's a more size. Yep, okay. So this is going to be a real engagement here. Just looking around, seeing what kind of guns we have to fall back on. All right, let's not tempt things too much with our destroyers. Can we actually... no. Trying to figure out how we can get in a torpedo run. Not sure how we can do it, really. Unless I can circle this destroyer group, like, around them this way and get behind them. Maybe the same thing with this, just the one down here. Let's try to get let's try to get all of our cruisers back into the fight here. And these would be some really long-range shots. But it is on fire. So let's swing our cruiser up. Let's swing our destroyer up to bring our launchers to bear. I mean, that's a very speculative shot with just a single torpedo tube. Boy, we have a... Alright, this is a mess. Let's try to get this sorted out. Kind of surprised none of our ships ran into each other. Now, if we can pincer them a little bit with our destroyers, so that no matter where they turn, they'll have to get within torpedo range of something. Okay. Let's turn. Alright, this is our chance, I think. Torpedoes away. And we'll fire off another volley. For some reason we can't. I guess we don't have the range in the torpedoes. By the time they get there, they'll be out of range. So we'll fire from this angle, because they are moving towards us. We could even straighten out a little bit. Fire. Oh, come on. Why does this have to be so awkward? Why does this have to be so awkward? Come on. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I mean, this isn't exactly the waves of torpedoes that I was hoping for. But that'll have to be the next war, when I get my Kitakamis. Alrighty. And we can see now that these battles are taking longer than our earlier ones, where I was able to just fast forward through most of it. There is more thinking involved. And that expends all of those torpedoes, so we can start getting out of there, I guess. Let's even out with our heavy cruisers. And this looks like it's going to be, a gun battle, essentially. I mean, we're firing off a lot of torpedoes, but nothing's hitting. Let's be realistic. So let's just go home with this group. Let's go home with this group. And maybe our light cruisers will be able to score some torpedo hits. They have, almost as much torpedo power as those destroyers do. And a bonus is that they can actually reload. Looks like these will be almost the last set of torpedoes for this group. Yeah. These were some pretty useless torpedo shots this particular battle. But he's moving at 2 knots. We'll slow them down for the ride home. Oh, the Kizo and the Kako are both taking damage. And this Baron does seem like it's slowed down a little bit. So is it possible to put a torpedo into him? Ooh, hey, nice. Look at that. We fired off all those destroyer torpedoes and hit nothing. And then we score with our cruisers. Well, if he ever slows down due to flooding, we'll be able to catch him, but until then, we're chasing as usual. And if we could get rid of these 3 heavy cruisers somehow, that'd be a pretty big deal. I mean, we're unlikely to get all of them, but if we did, heavy cruisers is something that they were running out of over here in this theater. Of course, they could just transfer them over, but hey, look at that. Boy, these cruisers are snipers when it comes to torpedoes. So I'll have the Kako turn around and try to deal with these 2 torpedoed cruisers. And then we'll do like a 3-on-1 down here. And hopefully try to put some more torps into this thing here, which is on fire. That one there has stopped moving. How's this little thing over here doing? Hang on, so what is this? I mean, it's still floating. Go up to 6 at least. Try to get it home. We'll send it towards Fusan there. All right, nice. We may end up sinking all of those heavy cruisers. And heavy cruisers is always something that we have struggled with as far as like raiders and trade protection, and just like in being in parity in general for heavy cruisers because we had to, we had to focus on like one or two arms of our fleet. And typically for us, it's always been light cruisers and destroyers. We're pretty much always outnumbered in terms of heavy cruisers, battleships, but we may be able to turn the tides if we can get an early advantage on aircraft carriers. But we're not going to get too excited when the first light and normal conversions arrive, because air technology will not be developed very well. Like we might have access to torpedo bombers and fighter and stuff earlier than some other nations, but they're not going to be very good because it's, they're biplanes essentially. All right, so let's just go home. So we're not going to go super crazy with it. What we will do is we'll convert a light carrier. We'll convert. I'll just put a shot in them as we go. We'll convert a light carrier. We'll convert a normal carrier, and we'll wait a little while, at least until we get slightly better aircraft before we go a little bit more all in on that stuff. They still have something at sea. Like, why isn't this just over? All right, well, that was a nice victory. I don't know, I guess maybe they must have had more ships that are still floating around out there somewhere doing stuff. Maybe destroyers. I don't know. All right. So what did they have? So we got away with everything. Like everything survived. They lost three heavy cruisers, and two destroyers, which was everything they had as far as like offensive power. They had some transports out there that we didn't. I don't know. I guess that wasn't our mission. Our mission was to protect our stuff. So whatever. Keep going. We'd like to keep going at least until we can capture what I keep calling Huawei over here. Yeah, they are pumping battleships into this theater. So let's see if we can force an engagement by trying to invade over here. So we'll go to the next turn. Looks like we get a battleship engagement over here. Oh, that ought to be fun. So if they're still using their pre-dreadnoughts, this could be like one of those lopsided battles. It's just really fun and unfair for them. 'Cause, you know, usually you're the one who's getting hammered. It's fun to be the hammer sometimes. All right, we sighted an unknown ship down there. All right, I was going to go up there and engage that land feature, but instead, we're going to go over here and try to engage these battleships, pre-dreadnoughts. If we keep them hemmed up against our port, this could be pretty brutal. All right, here we go. This is our first. I think this is our first ever like major battleship engagement. So will this be a Tashima, or will it be a? I'm trying to think of some other battleship engagement that went poorly. for Japan. What was it? Savo Island? It was that one where it's like Taffy 3 versus the Yamato Task Force. Samar. It was the Battle off Samar. Alright, well, we've taken the first hit. We're straddling. There we go. We scored a 12-inch hit. What kind of battleships guns do they have? They got 12 inches on that one. Oh, these are older ones. Oh, these are their original 1898. Well, not originals, but some older ones. I can't do anything for the Augusta. Boy, we're taking hits left and right. Alright, let's see if we can't get our destroyers involved a little bit here. This is just a gun duel for the moment. They have 7-inch armor, 7.5-inch armor, 10.5-inch armor. We have 11-inch armor. And we are scoring some hits. We'd like to be scoring 12-inch hits instead of 6. We could cut a knot of speed. Let's see if we can get them to maneuver with some torpedoes and get them to expose their broadsides to us. We are crossing their T a little bit, but it also that makes them harder targets. We'll save one more torpedo per destroyer. Yeah, they know, man. They know. Yeah, we're going to save a torpedo on each of our destroyers. We're just going to put our destroyers behind our main line here and just kind of lurk around a little bit. And if we get an opportunity, we'll use those torpedoes to sink a ship that's been damaged. We do want to alter our course a little bit. I don't want to sail in just a straight line, otherwise you'll end up eating a torpedo from somewhere. And we're scoring, well, these are 3-inch guns, so we're just kind of, we're just rattling their cage right now. And I do see an opportunity. Well, no, not yet. Not yet. That Imperator that's slowed down, it's like it's behind these battleships, so don't want to lose my destroyers to the other battleships trying to get in there to put torpedoes into that thing, especially when they would just be long-range torpedoes anyway. I want something either dead in the water or close to it. Alright, we're getting low on ammo. We're still, basically at our own home island. So we can force them up against the shoreline there. Oh boy. You know what? Let's go for it. We're taking a bunch of hits. but they are mostly from medium and light guns. Got him. And we will try to assure that that thing sinks. All right, let's just get our destroyers out of there. Squad max is 18, so we're still going max -2 to keep our gunnery good to go. All right, destroyers. Wish they could, go into the port there and rearm real quick. Down to 20% ammunition. We'll still have all of our secondaries. And with it getting dark, we'll probably just have to focus on this one ship here. And then maybe go finish off the other ship that is damaged up there. Yep, so we're just going to smother this thing with shots. And then we'll do another cruise up here. And that thing has to sink. I don't like sailing this close to this thing because we're sure it has torpedoes. We do not. And we put a torpedo into this thing already, so it seems like it should definitely be sinking. Heavy damage on fire. It's not reported as sinking, but we are pummeling it. All right. That should be good enough. Let's cruise home. Check out what kind of damage we've taken. 30%, 12%. We took a few heavy hits on our lead ship, the Kawachi. But other than that, I mean, we're good to go. These things will be in repair for a month or two. Theirs will be at the bottom of the sea for the rest of their lives. All right, what's the damage? All right, we sank a destroyer and 2 battleships. I'll take it. Okay, we're getting some improved submarines. The U.S. lost a destroyer in exchange for a heavy cruiser. Okay, save the game. Let's look and see what they have left. They have 1 heavy cruiser left in service. They're down to 7 pre-dreadnoughts, 1 dreadnought, and 2 battle cruisers. They have 1 light cruiser still and a bunch of destroyers. The 3 battleships they sent over here are still formidable enough to slow down our conquest with our blockade power. I don't think we quite have them blockaded yet. There are enemy raiders. So what we can do is we'll put these older battleships on trade protection because they're not going to be involved in any of this fighting anyway. And we'll put, oh, these are in Southeast Asia. We'll leave them there for the tonnage. I was going to put something on trade protection, but it's not really necessary. All right. This seems like a good time to pause things until the next episode. Thank you for watching and hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to sail safely out there.